What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my Christopher Nolan movie reviews. I'm going to be reviewing 3 Christopher Nolan films that I will be starting to review for the next couple days leading up to Dunkirk, which I am seeing tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I am so excited for this movie. But now we get into what is probably one of the movies that really wanted me to get into filmmaking, and for an aspect, Inception is that movie. Inception is one of my favorite movies. This was the movie that got me into learning about film. And it's hard to really describe that because of how personal Christopher Nolan is to me, but Inception is that movie. I have never been that curious about a movie ever in my life, and I'm like, this is why I want to direct movies, until I saw Inception. It was such a mind-blowing movie and such an experience for me. And I remember the very first day, it was July 18th. I went and saw the film with my parents. And I remember just being visually into that movie. It's still the movie to this day. One of the movies that really made me love film. It's the movie that made me love film, that and Drive. You know, I think that something about Inception is it's beautiful. It's so visually stunning, but it's also very creative. The script is very fantastic, and it's like brilliant writing by Christopher Nolan, who took 10 years to write the film. Leonardo DiCaprio gives probably one of my favorite performances of his. In this movie, he plays a man who's just trying to get home to his kids, but yet he keeps going through struggles with his past that really get into this. And I'm going to get into spoilers, so if you've never seen Inception, come on, you've seen it. When the relationship between him and Mal, and how his wife, who is no longer with us, who's gone to suicide, breaks his heart, and yet he's still struggling with his past. He's struggling to find himself, and I really relate to that. I really do. I love this. I love Marion Cotillard in the movie as well. I think that the two really bring such great chemistry together in this film, and it's so heartbreaking when the ending happens and he has to kill her. It's that she comes into his mind, and yet she's always going to be there because she's haunting him. I think Ellen Page is fantastic. I think she's really great. Michael Caine is heartbreaking in the moment, the little bit of pieces that he's in the film. The things with Cillian Murphy, one of my favorite actors of all time, and the relationship between him and his dad, who have a very not really great relationship, and have been there before with my dad. I have been there, and the relationship between him and his father is so heartbreaking. You know, it's brilliant. Performances from Driscoll and Levitt, Ken Watanabe, Tom Hardy, man, is brilliant in this movie, but I cannot talk any more about this movie until I talk about the score. My favorite score of all time, actually. Next to 2001, this probably is my favorite score. Hans Zimmer, man, brilliant. It's brilliant. I love everything about this movie. I love everything about this movie. And the ending, people talk about the ending. Is it real? Is he still dreaming, or is he really home? That is the ultimate question. I love Inception. It's one of my favorite films, in my top 15 of all time. It's definitely the movie that made me want to love films and want to get into films a lot. And it was before we'll talk about my favorite film, which is 2001: A Space Odyssey. But we'll talk about that soon on why I love. But I think the way that Christopher Nolan makes a film quite like Interstellar, it's brilliant to this day. It's one of my favorite movies. Inception gets a 5 out of 5, guys. That's my review for Inception. Stay tuned tomorrow for my review of Interstellar, probably Christopher Nolan's most controversial film ever made. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.